everyone, and welcome to the Jeff Bullas Show. Today I have with me 𝓦𝓱𝓪𝓽. Now, 𝓦𝓱𝓪 is the founder and CEO of vimmi, a video commerce software as a service platform that helps brands and retailers create shoppable video experiences across social media, marketplaces, and websites. With over 2 decades experience in media and entertainment, e-commerce, and telecom industries in startups and public companies, including NASDAQ IPOs, expertise includes B2B software as a service and hardware companies, go-to-market strategies, global marketing sales, product market fit, strategy development, and general management. We're not going to dive into all of those because your brain will freeze, and 𝓦𝓱𝓪𝓽 is maybe not willing to talk about that at any rate because it'll be too much detail. So at any rate, currently he's the co-CEO of vimmi, a video commerce software as a service platform that helps brands and retailers create shoppable video experiences. So 𝓦𝓱𝓪𝓽, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Great to be here, Jeff. Thank you so much for this opportunity. How are you?
I'm great, and I'm in Sydney and you're in Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
So where you are in the world is a little bit hotter in terms of politics and war and stuff compared to Sydney, Australia. We just go swimming every day, really. That's what we
Yeah.
do.
Hey, I lived there for about a year. It was
Did
like
you?
20
Okay.
years ago. Yeah. Actually, I lived in Sydney in Hyde Park. It was really amazing experience. Probably the best place in the world, right?
Well, you got no argument from me.
Yeah.
Well, I, I really think I live in paradise. We live a long way away from most of the world. So we're a big island,
hmm
sometimes called a continent. No one's quite sure what it really is, except it takes us 5 hours to fly across from one side of our big island or continent to the other side.
hmm
And we're about two-thirds the size of the USA. But we only have 25 million people.
Yeah.
So we're not
Yeah.
crowded. So um, let's go to what was the inspiration for you to start vimmi? But we could go back a little bit further. So what is your background in, you said that you've done 20 years or 2 decades of video and tech in that space. So tell us a bit about that experience. And second question is, what was the inspiration to cross the threshold into creating vimmi and that business?
Yes. I mean, the video industry as a whole is very, very interesting, dynamic, and evolving. I mean, video is everywhere, right? It's in medical industries, it's in, security and surveillance, media and entertainment, right? Platforms like Netflix, Disney. But it also, in the last few, let's say 5 years, it's also has become very, very important for any business, any brand or retailer who just want to use video for, increasing awareness, but also create conversions. Video is evolving. When I started with video, it was like probably in the dot-com year 2000, my CEO back then said, hey, this is take another couple of days to think about it, because if you start with the video in the video industry, there's no way for you to go out. I mean, it's going to stick with you for the rest of your career.
So you
Now
said
I
to me, actually at the beginning, it's a bit like Hotel California.
A bit like Hotel California, if you remember the line, you can check out every time you like, but you can never leave, right? So it's really the same. Video back then was analog video. These were the early days of just transitioning from analog to digital video, cable TV, satellite companies doing the transition to digital video. Over the years, video has evolved, and we started to use the internet for streaming video. I mean, it was a big technology challenge back then. We were quite innovating back then in trying to stream video and just do other things than just move video over cable networks or satellite. Obviously, iPhone was launched, and today video is like everywhere. We're using public unmanaged internet networks over content delivery networks just to stream videos. And we are expecting 4K video, expecting high quality video everywhere on our mobile, on our big screen connected devices. And it was amazing to see that evolution of how video has evolved. It used to be called broadcast TV back then. Later it was, today everyone calls it just streaming or video, but the idea is to use video in a very engaging way. Video is a much powerful type of media, as opposed to text-based or audio based. Video is more engaging. You can create some kind of a connection. You can feel the authenticity of people, and authenticity is a big word these days, right? I mean, that's the way to probably differentiate yourself as a brand, just putting yourself out there. What happened I mean, to the second part of your question, I mean, we launched Vimmi 11 years ago. Okay, so Vimmi is a
Wow.
tech
Okay.
company. Yeah, it's a bootstrap company. We never raised funds. I mean, in the previous companies that I worked for, we raised a lot of funds from VCs. I also did a public IPO in 2005 and managed a publicly traded company on Nasdaq. So I had experience of running these large enterprises, but also launched two startups. So Vimmi is already 11 years in operation. And we started when video was growing over the internet, right? And when Netflix started to grow, and a lot of companies out there, they were just wanted to launch their own direct-to-consumer video services, primarily mobile operators, major content providers. So think about any country today, you have a new video service that has been serviced by the local operator, internet company, or telecom, or variety of other ventures. And we were back then developing technologies and providing licenses and services to companies that wanted to launch a Netflix like, let's say, white label type of service. So we have a variety of customers all around the world. Some of them are very large enterprises and telcos that are streaming content to their users and monetizing content. And again, this is the media and entertainment type of content. These are like the major Hollywood,
Right.
productions and that linear channels, packages of hundreds of TV channels. And in parallel, about 5 years ago, we saw something new that is evolving in China, specifically around live shopping. So think about a scenario where a seller is just showcasing products and just streaming that video across a website or dedicated applications or specific social media networks. But that experience is very unique from a traditional live streaming event. It's actually an interactive event that includes a chat system for the users, having the option for the user to ask questions and someone to moderate those questions. But also, and probably the most interesting thing is the ability to add a call to action in this video player and making this video player a really truly interactive experience and giving the ability for users to click a button or to click a link on that video player, which redirects them to check out and make a purchase of that specific product. So
Yep.
we saw how video is evolving into retail, into e-commerce, mostly brands and companies that wanted to sell their product services across multiple channels, but enabling conversion, enabling the ability to click to purchase from that video experience. So videos were not longer being used for just awareness or exposing your brand and create interactions, but also video was actually started to be used for real conversion and real enabling real checkout opportunities. And the conversion rates were very, very high because you're very, very engaged in this process. You can see the product in action. You can feel, the authenticity of the host or the seller, and it was really a great success, and still is a great success in China, and the volume of the businesses is generated around live shopping in China is really huge, much more than many other countries in the world. Their
So, so
entire
let
e-commerce. Yeah.
let's just stop right there in terms of it's very interesting to watch what's happening in China versus America in terms of social media platforms. So China's banned a lot of the social media platforms into China. We have the great, you know, um, I suppose the bamboo curtain, but so of China. But on the other hand, America, a lot of social media platforms actually have not been very good at converting their reach into e-commerce. Have they compared to how it happens in China? I'd be really interested in what your thoughts are on how China's social media platforms have become almost like holistic, whereas America's is much more about just information and entertainment. I'd be interested in your thoughts on that.
Yes, great question. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. I mean, in China, most of the apps are like super apps. You do everything on that app, right? It's not just entertainment. It's also e-commerce. It's your digital wallet. You pay your bills over there. I mean, you just manage your entire life in that one single app. And there is no something that is similar in the US or in the Western world, for example. Western world is more fragmented. So there are a lot of communities. You have the TikTok community, you have the Instagram community, you have the YouTube community, Amazon, obviously, and it's like very siloed, right? There is no one that is really um, can be considered as a super app. So this is one major difference between China and the rest of the world. In China also, most of the retail business is online. Maybe more than 80% of the entire retail gross merchandise value is happening online. And in the US, it's somewhere around 20%, meaning that 80% of the retail business is still offline in traditional brick and mortar
In other words,
stores.
they turn up to Walmart, they turn up to,
Exactly,
whatever.
brick and
Yeah.
mortar, and it's not going to change in the following. Like any reports that I read, it's going to keep to just be the same. I mean, those 80% are out there for many years to come. So it just gives you an idea. The entire cake is growing offline and online, and there are a lot of focus in the Western world around omnichannel, right? How do you manage these online offline experiences? For example, you can purchase online and collect in store. These are people like that type of experience. But in China, most of the retail business is online, but like, and in the US, it's like the complete opposite of that experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So America's much more about the retail experience, the mall, you go to there and you shop. Whereas China, is it because America's had this like embedded retail experience because of the middle class and the wealth and size of America, whereas China's middle class has only exploded in the last decade. So they maybe are exposed to online shopping as their first experience of shopping.
Yes, exactly. And it's a culture issue as well. I mean, the Chinese, those sellers in China that are doing those live hosts, this is their day job. This is what they do like 24/7, right? I mean, and in the US, it's different. I mean, in the US, it's more of a strategy that you do that which is part of your overall marketing activities as a brand. And in Chinese, there are like companies or just that's the only marketing channels, just going live and sell their goods online. It's Chinese, I think, in the matter of demographics and geographies, they like just to be connected to these type of events for a longer period, right? When TikTok, for example, launched live shopping in the US, they said, and it was not probably like 18 months ago, they issued a few guidelines and they recommended that if you want the algorithms to work for you, you need a minimum of 2 hours of live shopping just to start, enjoy the benefits of the algorithm. So 2 hours is a lot. Think about someone in the Western world just, watching for 2 hours in a day a specific live event. It's not that common. Like in China, it's very natural. It's fine. I mean, it can happen. So this is why, I mean, what's working in the Western world, in the US specifically, is those non-live vertical short form type of videos, which is another exploding type of experience, which is more relevant or more fits Western world, and that lower attention span that is getting lower and lower. And just though getting these snippets of short form content, and when I say short form, it's usually less than 30 seconds, right? And you can create an entire experience, using the right hook at the beginning just to stop people from scrolling, telling a personal story or a lesson, and just showcase and provide value, and even showcase a product and enable these checkout experiences. So short form videos is very important. And what's important in short form video is authenticity and consistency, because no one cares about the background and the video editing quality and those b-rolls. People care about who you are, or how you are differentiated from the rest, and telling your personal story. So we talked before about AI and how AI is growing and technology is evolving. Yes, but in parallel, we are social creatures and we are looking for this human connection. And as you know, you do business with someone you trust, with someone you know. So short form videos is a great way to create this initial relationship building. And if you do that in a set in a proper way, as we teach and recommend to our customers in terms of content planning and what type of ideas to create videos on, so then you are able to, or even organically, just break through to the noise and probably it's going to be probably your best marketing channel or activities out there from any of the things that you do, you know.
Okay. All right. So let's cut to the chase. So we've got 5 billion people on mobile phones, on social media platforms, and you've got a lot of competition for attention.
Yeah.
And the other challenge that most social media platforms are doing, they're trying to create addiction to the platform. So with your Shoppable video experience platform, take me through the process of how you would help a online store, a online business create a video that will make them money cost effectively without blowing their budget on Facebook ads. Because as we know, Facebook just keep putting the price up. Every platform's keep putting the price up and they just send you the videos they want you to view, not the people that you want to see. So they're showing you the videos that they want to do that maximize their revenue. So how do you break through all that noise and technology and algorithms with your videos? Take us from the start to the finish of that process.
Yes, I think it's a really great question. Just to set the foundation, as you said, it's very expensive, it takes more time, and it's very competitive to bring users to your own amazingbrand.com website, right? So
Yeah.
work like it used to work probably 3, 4 years ago. In parallel, we're spending more time on social media, and social commerce is going to be like a real opportunity. Social commerce is, you know, according to any report, is expecting to reach something like $8.5 trillion in 2030. Okay, so it was like one year ago.
Yep.
1 trillion. So it's going to explode, right? Probably 10 times in like 6 years. And so companies are saying, okay, why not deploying our content and selling products where consumers are spending most of their time, on social media, right? So the vehicle for that, the fuel to enable all these activities is video, okay? And all forms of video. Usually companies start in short form videos, which is probably the most easy and straightforward way to start. Remember, there is also long form video, those horizontal video, 16:9 videos that traditionally goes to YouTube that requires more editing and more post-production. This is growing as well, by the way. And we talked about the live events as well. So with our platform is the first thing that it does, it's a self-service platform, very easy to use. You upload content, and content can be created through working with influencers or professional content creators.
Yep.
We highly recommend short form videos to be created by the founders, the executives, the leaders of the company, because that founder-led content or EGC or employee-generated content is very, very powerful compared to user-generated content. So employee-generated content, I mean, it's very, very authentic. It just shows the ins and outs of the company, and definitely founder-led content, which tell the story and why they launched the company, what's the unique story and the key differentiators around that. And we usually recommend to associate or connect content planning to the stage of the company and where you are on the marketing funnel. If you're just starting out and you are in awareness stage, you can't push your products or services. Just provide educational content, provide value, market information, checklist, how-tos, right? And when your users are considering to purchase and maybe evaluating competitions, don't be afraid to talk about your competitors. Either provide links to your competitors for information, because your users, your potential buyers, they will do that anyhow. So it gives you respect, okay? So provide information around who you are, how to do things, some variety of case studies, and a lot of sharing about your unique selling point with mentioning your competition. Don't be afraid to do that. And when your users are in the decision mode, that's the best place probably to showcase your product, provide some prices, some unique packages, provide testimonials. So create content plan which is around the marketing funnel and where you are in that stage. people don't want to buy, and they will not buy from someone they just, been introduced to. You need to create some foundation of value-based content, which is very, very informative and provides value. That will create a community and people trust you. And then they will be more open to accept an offer from you. So usually we recommend like 2 to 3 months of a consistent short form videos posting. Don't be discouraged by lack of engagement or too much analyzing your analytics at the first stages of that first stage. Because the way it works, it's not like a linear growth. It works like a hockey stick, right? You might have
Right.
like
Yep.
2 3 weeks of, like probably 10, 20, 100 views of your videos. And suddenly one of those videos will hit 50,000, 100,000 views. And then you will be very, very surprised and you will try to analyze what works. And I can tell you that the only thing that works and make a difference is the value of your content, not the video editing or those amazing pre-rolls that you put and the transitions. These are not important for short form videos because you have like 30 seconds to make a difference. So focus on the content, do a lot of research, primarily around what people are looking for. You can search in a variety of platforms. What are the hot topics? And we usually recommend to create content around pain points. I mean, if you can sit with yourself as a company leader or as a marketing leader and just think what are the 20, 30 biggest marketing points that my customers are now experiencing. And you need to know how to do that list. And if you don't know how to do that, probably you're in the wrong industry. So try to create that list and then create a lot of content around marketing information, value, checklist, and then you have like 50, 60 content ideas that will be very, very helpful for the next 2 to 3 months. And this is a foundation. This is a foundation. After that, we usually recommend start with live shopping. Try that again with the employees and with the people that are working for you. And we usually recommend in the first 3, 4 months, don't work with external content creators or influencers. Just do it by yourself, short form and live. And when this is working for you, and I know that it is working from few reasons. One, those platforms, social platforms, their algorithms are set to give higher priority to video content, right? Because it just keeps using more time on their platform, right? Video is a type of a longer form type of experience, and it's very, very powerful in terms of algorithms. It's much more powerful than any type of media that you put out there, whether it's a text or a picture. So this is a very, very important to mention. And I know that if you are consistent and you've been authentic and you do the right research in terms of pain points and market information that you provide, you will break through the noise organically, okay, without even spending $1 on advertising.
Okay.
What you usually
Yeah. So let me ask a question here. Are you talking about like low value retail stores selling, widget A, or are we talking, is it just B2C you're talking about? In other words, selling, let's say, I won't say, well, I will say crap. In other words, something that's like an impulse
yeah
buy. Or are we talking something a little bit, or are we moving up into B2B that we actually can get people committed and engaged there as well?
Yeah. So today, it's February 2025. We talk about everything. We are selling also high ticket, items. The industry that short form videos, the industry started with these smaller items, right? That you can showcase on a mobile
So
screen.
physical products, yeah.
Physical product. Usually you can see and you can show real transformation, right? In like 30 seconds, like before and after, probably cosmetics.
Yeah. So what about a content product?
Yes,
Training.
but this has changed completely. Today, everything is relevant for short form. People are selling cars in short form
Okay.
videos. Okay, furnitures. It has changed dramatically, and you need to be there. It's a must. It's like a foundational type of marketing that is true for any type of industry.
So is it physical as well as information? In other words, virtual products
Physical,
versus.
digital products, services, right?
Okay.
Everything.
All
This
right.
is where it truly differentiates you. And the more traditional industry that you never thought of, it will be relevant, it's going to dramatically differentiate you because this is probably something that other companies are not planning to do. And this is the way to do it. I mean, we work with car dealers. Think about that, right? They're
Hmm.
just going with short form videos, creating these conversions, uh, scheduling meetings, even create, checkout experiments to just redirect to a checkout page. People are buying also, high value items in an impulse purchase. Yes, they make a research, they might want to contact you, but they remember you, and you can attribute the sale that short form videos that you upload to Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts or TikTok, right? So it's a very, very powerful way, and really the most effective way to make any difference in marketing these days.
Right. Yeah, look, that's sort of, it's very interesting because I would not buy anything off a social media platform.
Yeah.
Zero. I don't trust them. Okay. But obviously the new generation trusts them. They actually get their news off it. They get their products off it. They get everything off it. And you're going, so why don't you just go straight to the New York Times to get the news? Oh no, I'll get it on my, or go to the CNN, or I'll
Yeah.
go to, and I'm going, wow. So this is why everyone's open to being scammed, aren't they? Really? Because it's like,
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, so the new generation, let's call them Gen X, and they are becoming much more important in the overall purchasing cake. They are very much, into social commerce, very much into influencers, so they trust influencers a lot,
God,
right? And
that's really scary about influencers,
yeah,
right? Okay, so
yeah,
I
things are
watch so
changing.
many influencers, and I'm going, you guys, you're buying off an influencer that says it's great because they got an agenda, right?
Yeah. Remember, social commerce is not just the ability to purchase on socials, it's also the way you purchase, watching and experiencing what your friends are purchasing a lot as well, right? So it's a social type commerce in the way you purchase as well. So if your friends purchase and that influencer purchase and recommend it, then you make a purchase as
So
well.
they
So
just are we just watching lemmings develop around the world that just go over the cliff with the rest of their friends?
no, it's a very smart. They do the research on TikTok, right? I mean, in terms of products, and they can
Yeah.
check what's going on, if they're confident, they will make a purchase on TikTok, right? So because TikTok today, okay, TikTok in the US probably there is a big question mark about what's going to happen, but the rest of the world, we see companies. Traditionally, if you want to launch an online business, you will probably create a Shopify store, right, and start marketing. But today, we see a lot of new ventures that are just launching on TikTok. Why? Because TikTok bring them customers. There's an ecosystem there of affiliate marketplaces and influencers that you can just seed product and give them with the products. They can create videos and promote that video on their own channels, right, and to their own followers. And if you do it right, TikTok brings you business. It's like they're bringing you
Yeah,
eyeballs and customers.
it's reaching the world, and
Yeah,
obviously that it can be scams and spam everywhere, right? So it really doesn't matter whether it's on a website
yeah,
impersonating another site, the list go on and on. So,
yes.
so take us through. So if you onboard a client, so where do you start with your platform? Take us through the process. Do you pay a subscription fee to do it? What's the story? What's the process to use your platform?
Yeah, so the platform it needs to be synced to your existing e-commerce platform just to pull product pages information, prices, and that link that you need to associate to redirect from the video. So we work with almost all the e-commerce technologies and platforms out there. So in one click, you just sync the products and you associate product pages, link URLs to videos, and then you make videos shoppable. Okay. When you go live, for example, through our live studio, you can again add those products to the video, and you know, it will be showcased as a thumbnail on the video player of the users, and you can publish or stream those videos across all your social media channels and on your own website as well, because we provide you a simple JavaScript. You just copy paste on your backend of the e-commerce, and then you have a very interactive type of video player. We call it Video Mall, that you can showcase all these interactive videos on the main page of your website, for example. And because you associate products with videos, automatically we can just future-proof and enrich your existing product pages with those interactive videos. It happens automatically. And yeah, we have a variety of packages. You can start with a free package that is there for live, which gives you the ability to manage and post those shoppable videos and go live. And additional packages if you need more capacities, more live events, more videos, more storage. And it's very easy to use, kind of a friendly onboarding. You just sync products, connect your social networks, and you can start rolling and enjoy the benefits of social commerce and shoppable videos and obviously live shopping.
Okay, so do you help customers that want to sell via video? Yeah. Do you help them create the video? Do you help them promote the video? Or you just provide a platform for the video?
Great question. So that's our latest addition. A lot of the customers that we talk to, they said, okay, yes, we know video is very powerful. We want to do that, but we don't know how. We don't know where to start, how to work. They lack the experience of making that transformation to a video-based marketing, video-based business. And we launched a managed services today. We call it video commerce as a service. And that part of the business helps brands and companies with this video transformation. We help them manage their influencers relationship. We help them with content creation. We help them with AI video content creation. There are a lot of expertise around AI video, AI influencers, and AI video is going to change a lot of things for a lot of brands. We help them create AI avatars of themselves and just streamline and make it easy for them to create videos through those text to video type of technologies that we provide. And more services around helping brands and companies to make the transition to video-based marketing. And if you're already educated about video and excited about doing this transition, we will be like handhold for you, like your trusted advisor, and create this done for you type of experience that guide you through the process. And we are becoming like an extension of your sales team. Our main target and KPI here is just to help brands sell more on multiple other channels that they are not active, and creating this content for them, and use the AI and the analytics side of things primarily to evaluate and check what's working and what's not, creating all these type of recommendation, implementing recommendation, let's say topics and ideas that the AI is recommending in order to come up with better scripting, with better videos, with better timing, to improve those conversion rates. And it's very easy. You test it by numbers, right? Conversion rates, dollar value sold, and having the ability to create more content just give you the ability to create more sales opportunities, of course, as long as that inventory is there.
Okay, so love it. VCAAS, video content as a service.
Yes, video commerce as a service.
Okay, very cool. So do you have APIs to link it straight up? Once you create it, you can launch it to all the different social media platforms?
Exactly. We work very, very hard, and it's a lot of work of just maintaining APIs and the continuous updates of each one of those platforms. We have dedicated teams that work with Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, Amazon, Walmart. I mean, and the list is very long in terms of channels. They are like very specific, like in the various niches, there are like specific publishers and marketplaces that companies want to work with. And we are very, very fast in those API implementations. It's one of our strengths, having this, the ability to quickly evaluate APIs, implement them. And it's also inherent in the way we've built the platform, which is very agile, open, flexible type of engineering, which is, probably the way we work also on marketing and sales and R&D, to keep this lean, flexible, agile processes and mentality, and using tools to just streamline and make things fast. So yeah, I mean, that's the way it works. And those APIs are changing every day. We see a lot of developments in all the platforms around enabling commerce and enabling shopping on their platform, definitely on YouTube. And of course, we talked a lot about TikTok and Snapchat, now introducing a lot of new functionalities. Pinterest obviously was there all the time, and Facebook with Facebook Marketplace, and Instagram with tagging products. We have the ability, for example, to create a checkout through a DM in an Instagram, right? So think about a scenario where, of course, we cannot integrate overlays on the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, video players, but we can on Instagram, for example, we can automatically, there is a bot that can send a link through DM just to make a purchase for the specific person that probably typed a certain word. YouTube also introduced like digital shelf functionalities that from a certain type of account with an amount of followers, you can integrate click to purchase overlays on the video player and add like digital shelf, like all thumbnails of URL below the video player. So they're introducing also a lot of functionalities, and we know that they've announced a partnership with Shopify as well, just to compete with TikTok. So a lot of developments around those channels, and yeah, it's already fully integrated out from the get-go into the platform. You just connect your accounts with your credentials, and we make sure that you enjoy the highest, the latest APIs and the latest innovation that those platforms are providing in terms of making video shoppable and making video work for you on these channels.
Okay. So you can take external videos and add all that to those, or you actually can create it on your platform as well.
Correct. Yes.
Awesome. So let's just look at, so you obviously mentioned free as one part. So you go from free to a full done for you service. Is that correct?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can start from free, just check it out. I think it's a great way to start, and it doesn't cost anything, and no credit card required. And once you're comfortable with the platform, and if you have an internal team that can manage these processes, you can just go to these higher tiers of the platform, just give you more functionalities and more capacity to do things. And if you want that done it for you type of service, then you contact us, and we just try to make a discovery call with you and try to understand what exactly is required, and we can handhold this entire process for you, and just let you enjoy, what's working today in marketing, which is these organic videos that are making very, very effective type of experiences. And by the way, those organic videos, if some of those videos are performing very, very well, through the data, we usually recommend to push this video with advertising budget, because we know the return on that spend is going to be very, very high, because that video we know is already performing very, 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 very good, right?
Yeah.
So
So
that's
okay. So that means you
yeah,
double down on what's working, and then you can actually know that
exactly,
if I spend $2, I can make $8, for example,
exactly,
because the
exactly.
data
So
tells you what's working, what doesn't.
yes, usually, today it takes so much time to figure out what's working for you with paid ads, right? And you just do it organically. That doesn't cost you anything. And what's working, then push it. That's just flipping, the way
Okay.
you do advertising.
So very cool. So you got the done for you service, which sounds fantastic. You got the free service to check it out. And you're saying that you can do this for any type of product, digital or physical.
Yes. And any type of company size, right? We work with large enterprises, with small SMBs, and even solopreneurs and content creators, right? That they just have probably a digital course they want to market through live shopping. So we work with all type of customer types out there. We know how to manage professional, engagements with enterprises, statement of works, project management, staging environment, production environment. So this is part of our DNA, just to make these processes in a very professional way.
Wow. Sounds very, very cool. And you've obviously woven AI into this.
Yes, we talked a lot about AI. Definitely, the platform has a lot of AI functionalities, starting from the data collection and just analyzing what's working and what's not. We're gathering analytics from all the channels, right? From Meta, from Instagram, from YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, I mean, Amazon. And we try to provide a holistic view of what's working and what's not. And we use AI just to work and provide recommendation around products, around targeting, around videos, variety of business and video related KPIs. And obviously AI in terms of the way we help, scripting content and bringing up, content ideas, and definitely AI for the content creation side of things. Text to videos platforms that are very, very strong, and influencer platforms that are just a text based. AI is also very powerful for so many other aspects of video that are we're considering, by the way, things like um, sales assistant, right, and customer support assistant. So think about the bot are which is performing very, very well on the website, are doing the transition to a video-based bot. So think about a scenario where you have a video avatar that is just communicating with you online and just helping you to create this journey on the website. And sales assistant, I think, is the next thing in AI video. And these are the things that we research currently, and we check, how it can be helpful. But definitely, we see great potential in this type of ideas as well.
Well, it's a very interesting world at the moment, isn't it? In terms of
Yeah, it's changing very fast.
we've
Yeah.
had the mobile phone, which met the perfect storm of social media, and now we have AI to actually optimize all that. And quite
Yes.
often, everyone feels quite overwhelmed by there is so much happening. It's almost like you don't know where to start.
Yes. Yes. It's overflow. It's like, as you said, overwhelming type, things that are happening. But new tools and new technologies are being launched like not every day, not every hour, every minute, right? There are a
Yeah.
few AI platforms that just monitor what's new, and you can see like every second there's a new tool that is doing something like tick, 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 tick.
I know.
It's like a company that was like real hype today, next week it's gone. I mean, there is a new thing and this is the world that we're going to live in. It's that continuous evolvement and speedy way of just innovating things, and yeah, we need to learn about this new world.
Yeah. Ethan, thank you very much for your insight. It's been a fascinating conversation, and I think we could actually use what you're doing as well. So I might get one of my team, or I might send some information through to find out more how we could work with you, because we have a digital product and we maybe need to work on that. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Nice,
so
sure, love to
yeah,
help. Yeah. Jeff, it was
so
a pleasure. Thank you so much. Great questions.
just one last question. What brings you deep joy and happiness? If you got paid all the money in the world, what would you do every day? Would you go cycling around the Arctic? Would you climb Mount Kilimanjaro? What would you do, Ethan? What brings you
No, it's
joy?
not what I would do. It's already things that I do, right? So after, those all these years in the industry, like 5, 6 years ago, I was really burned out and tried to think, okay, what's next and how can I create more balance in my life? So I just started to think about priorities in work,
Hmm.
right? What's important for me to do
Yep,
and what's important for me. And so I thought a lot and still think every day how to make work more effective and just make it more reasonable so I can do some other things just to maintain, mental health and, just to keep myself in a good physical uh,
yep.
condition. So I've been through this journey, and yeah, so I have time. I do mountain biking like 3 times a
Cool.
week, right? And it's
Yep.
like really intense, workout. I also into Chinese medicine and Tai Chi and Qigong
Cool.
practices. So I spend a lot of time on this. So I try to just keep my hobbies and keep more time for family. I have 5 kids that need, so it's like having this balance. I think today, the last few years, I'm in a much better position, and the business is working even better, right? So all this, just think about the way you work, think about the priorities of your tasks, and how do you keep spare more time for just this, putting your brain in this default mode of, some call it maybe daydreaming, right? Just
Hmm.
zoom out, don't think about anything, just clear the clutter, right? Stop with rumination and just let creativity uh, you know get into your system and try to take a smarter decision about the way you work. And so all these processes are really a lot of knowledge and type of behaviors and processes that I implemented in my life for probably the last 5, 6 years that are making just everything better in every aspect of life.
So you're very much into holistic living.
100%. Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a keen road cyclist, so I go cycling 3 to 4 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. So
Amazing.
I've ridden in like the Argus in South Africa, around the Cape of Cape Town.
Wow.
Um, I've ridden the K2 in New Zealand, which is a 200-kilometer ride, and we're heading to the Dolomites in September this year with some friends. So
Wow. Road,
um,
road biking, right?
yeah, so yeah, I'm getting a little bit older, so maybe not doing quite as much as I used to. But on the other hand, nurturing relationships with people that are near and dear to you, friends and family.
Yes. Yes.
Um, like for me, that's really, really important. So trying to find experiences that you actually can share with people that matter, and because at the end of the day, it's after a certain amount of money, um, there's no increased happiness. In fact, there's just more anxiety. So I think we'd ask ourselves the question every day, how much is
Yeah.
enough?
Yes. Yes. I think the new generation knows much better than us, right? They have their limitation and they know where to stop, right?
Mm,
I mean, our generation, we never knew when to stop. I mean, if there is a task, we just do that. Do the task until it's finished, right? Doesn't matter the hour, the day of the week. And probably the new generation that comes out, they are more balanced, right? They know where to stop and they less care about, company vision and overall goals, right? They have the way of working, which is probably more intense work for limited time. And I think it's the right way to go. It's just making things more balanced, keeping time for the personal life and just enjoying life in general. And by the way, AI is going to help a lot with that because it is going to give us a lot of free time, right?
well, I think it could amplify our humanity and our time. Um, on the other hand, we're just going to make sure that the children don't think that mum and dad can keep rescuing them because they want to live the life they want.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Look, AI,
how old are
yeah.
your kids?
All, I mean, I have from 9 to 23, right? I have 5 kids, so
Okay.
it's all over. Yeah, it's really interesting. Look, I mean, AI is promising because AI is going to just do things in a much cheaper way. So probably cost of living, which is growing all over the world, is going to stop, right? More free time, and it's everything is going to be cheaper. Again, this is theory, right? But let's see. So
Look, we're about to find out.
yeah, we're about to find out. So let's see what kind of a world. And it's going to be, you know, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years, right? That's about it. It's not like generation away. It's few years away
Yeah.
in terms of implementation. Because if you can do things for any business, if you can do things like it's $1 cheaper, you will do that, right? And anything that can be done on a Zoom call or on a laptop you will be able to do that with AI at like it's in a dramatically lower cost. Dramatically, it's not 30% or 50%. It's like 99%
Yeah.
less cost. So that's
Yeah.
going to change a lot of things very, very fast.
I think we're going to keep aware of it. And I went to a business lunch last Friday and bumped into an old friend of mine, and she said, uh, "I just need to get out of my office because I'm on my own all the time. I need to actually chat to real people."
Wow. Yeah.
So, in
Yeah.
the middle of all this lovely technology, we're going to make sure we still look after our humanity and our relationships.
Yes.
And this is the tension we are in the middle of this challenge of how do we make technology work for us as humans rather than technology use us. And social media is using a lot of us now, except for those who are going, I actually am not going to use it much because it's actually not good for me.
Yeah.
So this is the challenge, is that technology is not a nirvana, it's a tool for us, so we don't become a tool for it. So that's the challenge for all of us.
Yes. I mean, you cannot ignore it, you cannot stop it, but you need to maintain, certain time that you say, okay, I need to stop now, right? That's the difficulty. So just
Well,
limit time to certain things that is more appropriate for you. So yeah, that's going to be definitely the challenge.
yeah. So maybe we need to think about how much doom scrolling we want to do and how much shopping scrolling we want to do.
Yes. Yes. Agree.
All right, Ethan, it's been fantastic chat. Thank you very much for your time and your insights and your wisdom and your experience, because it's evident you know a lot about any technology platform. Sounds fascinating. So thank you very much. It's been an absolute blast, mate.
Amazing, Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you.